Serial killers. Cesare Borgia. Cesare Borgia Roderigo Lanzal Borgia was an Italian cardinal who was to become Pope Alexander VI. Meanwhile, he kept a mistress, the courtesan Venazia Cattaneo, who shared a luxurious palace with him and gave him 5 illegitimate children. Cesare Borgia was born in 1476, and the youngest of all, Lucrezia Borgia, was born in 1480. Cesare became a cardinal, a military leader, and a politician. Pampered as a child, he never came to terms with the fact that sometimes in life, it is impossible to have everything one wants. Cesare was handsome, his mother and sister adored him, and his father indulged him. This wasn't enough for Cesare, who wanted the whole world to love and obey him, particularly the latter. He wanted to have every woman to whom he took a fancy. His sister was probably one of the first of his sexual conquests, while his brother's wife would later become another. When he was a soldier, the virgins of captured towns would be rounded up for his pleasure. If Cesare could not get his way by chance, he would throw a tantrum and, if so moved, would resort to murder to remove obstacles from his path. If he could not dispose of his enemies openly, for example, torturing soldiers who had looted his mother's house, he would kill quietly. For this purpose, he became an expert on poisons. Cesare knew how to kill quickly with a poison that caused death, like a heart attack, and also how to kill slowly so that he could enjoy watching his victims' gradual disintegration. His easygoing father preferred his brother Juan, so Cesare had Juan murdered. When Lucrezia was married off by her father to Alfonso of Aragon, Cesare was so jealous at losing his young sister's singular devotion that he engineered Alfonso's death, too. He later resumed his close relationship with Lucrezia, and her first child was almost certainly his son. Cesare was not only handsome, but he was also energetic and intelligent. He was a great patron of the arts and promoted the work of Leonardo and the young Raphael. His ultimate ambition was to rule Italy, dispensing favors to those he liked and removing those he didn't. His cruelty was such that after his return from a period at the French court where he fancied he had not been treated in the manner appropriate to his view of himself, he executed many of the servants who had accompanied him so they could not relate to others at home the stories of the various slights he had endured. Thus were removed not only political opponents but even those who were just embarrassed. Cesare Borgia, whose dozens of victims included many who were poisoned, was himself poisoned and, although he was not to die, the event marked the beginning of his downfall. He and his father were taken ill after they had dined with Cardinal Adriano da Corneto, who himself fell sick, although it is not known if the cardinal's illness was a cover-up. While Cesare recovered, his father, the Pope, did die. The new Pope imprisoned Cesare, and his supporters, his army, and his influence were lost. On his release, he went to Spain but was imprisoned again, for the murder of his brother. With Lucrezia's help, he escaped and joined forces with his brother-in-law, but he was severely injured in a battle and left to die. He was only 32. Lucrezia lived for another 10 years, married again, and was renowned for her kindness. However, because of the lifelong support she gave Cesare throughout his career, she has acquired the reputation of being an accomplice in his murders. She is regarded as a poisoner herself, although there is no evidence she ever killed anybody. There is no doubt, though, that Cesare Borgia is a classic case of a serial killer.